Hi, welcome to our lesson today. This is Matrix Uploaded Life Sciences and I'm Helen. Today we're looking at the very important processes of cell division that take place in cells all over your body. In grade 10, you have learnt that there's a cell division process called mitosis. And as you're sitting there watching this program right now, millions of your body cells are undergoing mitosis as we speak. Can you feel yourself growing and getting bigger? And in your reproductive organs, you have a different kind of cell division process taking place, and that is meiosis. So today we're going to look at these two cell division processes, and whilst you learnt about mitosis in grade 10, you need to understand, grade 11s and 12s, that it is a fundamental process that happens in all living organisms, and you need to know about this process when you deal with certain topics in grade 11 as well as in grade 12. So let's pay very close attention. We're going to start looking at mitosis. Now, we said that it happens in your somatic cells or in your body cells. And your cells all over your body, for 90% of their life, are going to be going through their normal metabolic processes. So, if it's a muscle cell, it's going to be contracting, relaxing, contracting, relaxing. That's what it does. That's its business. If it's a cell inside your mouth, it's going to be making spit all the time and certain digestive enzymes to help you digest carbohydrates in your mouth. But these cells get old, they get worn out, they could get damaged, and so you need to have them replaced. And when the cell comes to the end of its life, it is going to undergo mitosis. In the last 10% of its lifespan, it's going to first of all undergo DNA replication. So let's have a look at the slide to remind ourselves of the cell cycle. DNA replication. It's then going to go through the different stages of mitosis. That's what we're going to focus on right now. Remember that it's very important before mitosis actually starts that the DNA replicates. Now, you need to understand, you've got the cell, it's got the DNA inside it, and we need to halve this cell. We need to break it into two. But you can't halve the DNA because that means that, well, this new cell is going to have half the DNA and this one, and it's not going to work. Or you're going to have chromosomes missing. You can't halve the DNA. What you have to do is, before the cell divides, you've got to replicate the DNA. You've got to copy the DNA. It would be very much like you getting up to writing a test at school and you've lost all of your notes. So you go to your friend and you say, "Can I please share your notes?" And your friend takes out his notes and he says, "Cool." And he tears the notes in half. He says, "You take that half, I'll take this half." And that's fine. We've shared the notes. But you only then have half the information and your friend only has half the information. And you're not going to pass your test. If your friend wanted to help you, he is going to have to take those notes and copy them and give you a copy. And that's what happens during DNA replication. The DNA has to replicate or copy itself. It happens just before mitosis takes place, and after DNA replication, the chromosomes appear as sister chromatids. And then we have them at the beginning of mitosis. The very first stage of mitosis is called prophase. What starts to happen, quite a few things begin to take place across the cell. You find that the nucleolus starts to disappear. Here's the nucleolus, this darker patch inside the cell, inside the nucleus. The nuclear membrane starts to break down. Two sister chromatids are held together. There's the one and there's the other. What are they? Well, the one is the original DNA strand, the other is the copy of the DNA, and they're held together by a little structure called a centromere. It would be like your friend taking his notes, photocopying them, and then clipping them together so that they didn't get lost, so that you knew that he knew that he'd photocopied each page of his notes. And so we've got the chromosome and its copy, so we call them now sister chromatids. And remember, they're identical to each other. Another thing starts to happen inside animal cells is that the centrosomes start moving apart from each other. One is going to end up at the one pole of the cell, the other is going to end up at the other pole of the cell. So during prophase, they start their movement to the poles, and they're going to be creating what we call the aster. In metaphase, very simply, these sister chromatids line up along the equator, and we know that we've got the two centrosomes at the poles. In anaphase, what happens is these spindle fibers that are attached to the centrosomes, the centromeres, pull, contract, and split apart the sister chromatids. Finally, that cell is going to divide in half because the cell membrane is going to cleave inwards, and we've got two cells with exactly the same chromatin network or chromosomes as the original parent cell. After the break, we're going to carry on looking at the second kind of cell division process.